Every song has a skeleton. Beneath the polish, the mix, the hook you can't get out of your head, there's a structure holding it all together. The quiet decisions, the happy accidents, the people whose fingerprints never make the credits you see. Welcome to Bare Bones. This is the podcast where we open the closet, pull the skeletons out, and lay a song on the table piece by piece. Each episode, I sit down with an artist and we focus on one track. We break it apart, listening to the stems, talking through the verses, hooks, bridges, and the moments you were never supposed to hear on their own. We talk about how the song was built, who helped build it, and why it became what it is. And when there's nothing left to hide, we play the song in full. This is Bare Bones. Zalchamist the Creator is a Crystal Award-winning hip-hop artist from Southwest Florida. He is well known for blending his principles and faith into his lyrics while bringing fire, flow, and movement into every performance. For this episode, I sat with Zalchamist and producer Alyssa Cubed to discuss their newest release, Rich. We will listen to the full track a little later, but for now, let's get to know the artist as well as the individual parts of this beautifully produced track. Welcome, Zalchamist and Alyssa, and thank you both for being here. So the track was created before lyrics ever even came into it. So then we'll start with Alyssa and just tell me how you produce, what steps you take, and how it came together.
Yes. So for a while, he was like, we should collab. And I'm like, yeah. It was like that for like a few months. And then finally, like we got together and then I had no idea what I wanted the sound to sound like, but I was thinking, okay, maybe something like upbeat, kind of poppy. It's kind of out of my usual stuff that I do because I'm more so like an ambient, instrumental, chill electronic kind of musician. And so I decided to experiment a little bit. And then it started with this synth sound, which sounded kind of poppy. And I was like, ooh, that's kind of vibing. So that's where the song started from, was from this sound. And then right after that, I was playing with the bass. And then I got something like kind of funky, I think, which is also different than what I usually play. But I was having fun with that. And so I was able to create most of the song just from those two layers. And then he was sitting in my room, like thinking of lyrics, experimenting with different things. So that's how the song started.
It's funny, I can still kind of hear that ambient feel in it, even though it is like outside of, like in that synth like that. You can still hear that. If that's your sound, I like that I can still hear that even though this was something outside of your box. That's really, really cool. And crazy that it's basically two instruments making this whole track.
For the most part, I have like another synth sound in there and like a pad, but the majority of like the song comes from those sounds.
Talk me through how you came up with writing the lyrics for this and where that idea was born, because they are so beautiful.
The lyrics started with Alyssa's vision board. So I was sitting on the floor in her room. I was just out of it that day for some reason. And I'm just looking around for some inspiration. And I see everything I touch turns to gold. Everything I touch is gold. Even knobs on the doors I close is the beginning of the verse.
Everything I touch is gold. Even knobs on the doors I close.
I think the hook came... I might have already had like a lyric already written. I don't need to roll in a Rolls or a roll on my wrist to know that I'm rich.
I don't need to roll in a Rolls or roll on my wrist to know that I'm rich. Yeah, I know that I'm rich.
I think I already had that like written in my head. So I kind of just used it and was trying to fit it within the pocket. And it actually took me a long time to write like the rest of the song. I wrote like maybe that everything I touch is gold, even knobs on the doors that I closed. And I think I was stuck there for like 6 months?
It was like every month you're like, okay, I'm working on it. I swear I'm working on it. I'm like, all right. And I was like busy with other things. I'm just like, okay, whenever you're ready, like I'm ready. I'm still doing these other projects over here. So finally we finished it. Like it was like a year later until it got released.
Yeah, we started working on it in March of 25, so it took a year to finish and have released. And even like the lyrics, I didn't have fully written. Like when I went into the studio with Josh, I started recording the hook, and I just kind of like freestyled the end where it, just to fill that in, having him repeat the riches over and over and bringing pitching the every other word up and down, up and down. I was like, okay, that's cool. I was worried about having to fill that space before I came into my next segment of the lyrics and the hook. So Josh did his thing on that.
Shout out
Shout out.
Josh,
Yeah.
EQ, big shout
My
out.
dude. And then the second verse, it took me a while to write that too, because I was like, do I go into a whole other verse or do I just keep it simple? Because I felt like the beat was so good that it could carry the song on what I did, and it did. Like right from the beginning, the beat just gets you bobbing your head without any lyrics, and I think it's one of those soundtracks that you don't even need lyrics to vibe to it. That's kind of like the instrumentals that I want to put my vocals on more, because I want the audience to be able to move and not have to actually listen to what I'm saying, and just sound good based off that to get like the vibe going and not have to carry an instrumental so much. So it was a really fun project to work on, and I feel like it's a very strong song just because the message is so beautiful and the instrumental is so good.
Protected everywhere I go, battle tested, redirected, heart invested on my goals. Christ detected, resurrected, light injected on my soul.
And the verse, after recording and listening to it, I wasn't in love with it for a while. I almost just scratched the whole thing and rewrote it, and I'm like, no. I let a few people listen to it. They're like, no, it's good, Zach.
Living out my prophecy, vibing through my odyssey. People find me odd to see, but shit's not really odd to me.
You're just getting in your own head. And I think that's us as artists, we do that. We need that outside perspective on our music and that kind of validation, even though we shouldn't really need outside validation. But sometimes you have those people in your life that you trust with your creations to tell you whether it's good or not, you know.
Constantly living through my novelty, finding peace and harmony. Well received, always got that cross on me.
I like that you touched on the beat again, because the beginning of it does build so much that it gets you moving. And having seen you perform so many times as an artist, you are a mover when you're performing. You are all over the stage. You are all over whatever area, space you have. So I love that this song also compliments you, and like Alyssa did such a good job giving you a song that you could move to. It took a year, and that's beautiful too, because you can't rush stuff like this. This is my favorite song of yours, and I love a lot of your songs, but this song really, really like moves me. So I love that it took a year. I love that it wasn't rushed. And I think as artists, a song is never really done. You know, you will always want to tweak, perfect, keep tweaking and moving it. So it's good to have that outside perspective from people that you do trust to give you an honest feedback like, yeah, this is done, this is ready to go. What does the message and the lyrics mean to you when you started writing the song versus what it means to you now?
It's the same but different, because like I said, I had wrote the roll, I don't need to roll on a rolls or roll on my wrist to know that I'm rich. Like prior to that, the more positive I get, the more I want to create positive music and create affirmations within music for people to repeat. Because I think that's a huge thing with concerts, is you get someone on stage and you get this entire audience of thousands of people to repeat your lyrics all at once, and I think it creates this massive vibration.
Battle tested, redirected, heart invested on my goals. Christ detected, resurrected, light injected on my soul.
And there's so much music out there that's doing the opposite, that's creating negative and lower vibrations through negative music and negative words and curses and things like that. So the direction I'm taking my music is to create positive words for people to repeat and affirmations for themselves to realize, hey, I'm already rich. I don't need all these material things and wealth to feel good, to be happy, to have that joy and peace within.
Wealth is the value that you offer to the world and others. Riches in your heart and how you treat your sisters and your brothers.
Just that day was a lot of fun, just getting with Alyssa, and I hadn't seen her for a while. And she's one of my favorite people to be around, just because she's just so funny and she's just a beautiful person. And that day just showed it's more than the song. It's the collaboration, to be able to create with friends and be able to put music out that can touch and heal the world, really. And within that, I created a sermon, a poetic sermon on it that I was able to get in depth into the Word of God and get the answer of what it means to be rich through a biblical aspect.
To be rich is to live through the seed that God planted in you. That creative gift that can lift the mountain all by faith. While the world sees a myth, you already know deep down in your heart that you're already rich, 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 rich.
And within that, like it brought so much out of me, and it showed me parts of myself listening back. And a lot of my music, I do that. I listen back to it, and it's like it wasn't my present self creating and writing those lyrics. It was a future version of me that was communicating through me and writing. And now every time I listen, it's like it's a whole new perspective on my reality. And it's just a really cool thing to feel and witness and experience. It's yeah.
And I like the lyric, the vocals at the end that you do. Your like,
where it's like a it's more poetry than it is
Yeah.
like a rap verse, like spoken wordish.
yeah.
And that's some of my favorite things to do is take away the drums and just have like that ambient sound and to rap over, because you could just flow freely and not have to be stuck in this box.
And I feel like it you're moving, you're dancing. Alyssa made an amazing track, and you're dancing to it, and you're listening to the lyrics, and you're singing along. But then like that drops out, and you do those vocals, that poetry at the end, and it really just like you're like, whoa! It stops you, and you listen, and that's like when the message, for me, really sinks in, and I'm like, wow, that's beautiful, like beautiful, beautiful. Was that space there when on the track already, or did you guys do tweaks with the track after you had your vocals ready? Was there any like tweaks you had to go back and drop anything out of to make room for things, or any tweaks made in anything while you guys were creating this together?
From what I remember, the track pretty much stayed the same. I think a little more instrumental was added at the end for the spoken word, but from what I remember, it pretty much stayed the same. And then Josh took it and like did great mixing work to it, and it sounded like that much more alive. So I'm very happy with how it turned out. It's cool to think like a year later, like, oh yeah, like that's where it started, and now it's actually finished and released, and it turned into a beautiful song.
I just need a hold on my soul, a cross on my fist, to know that I'm rich, to know that I'm rich, to know that I know that I know that I know that I'm rich, 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 rich.
We can go, if you want, we can go into depth with like all the lyrics.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want.
Okay, so we'll just start with the verse. Everything I touch is gold, even knobs on the doors I closed.
Everything I touch is gold, even knobs on the doors I close.
So this is another instance where I'm writing from like a future perspective, because I think in the past I've burned a lot of bridges, and now like when I leave relationships, I want to leave those relationships in good standing, where the knobs that I close, the doors that I close, the knobs on those doors are gold. Like I left like beautiful things behind. Love you still, but I got to continue to progress in my life, type of thing.
Them doors made of onyx stone, I'm protected everywhere I go.
Them doors made of onyx stone, protected everywhere I go. So the doors being made of onyx stone, as you know, you like crystals, is a symbolization of protection.
Battle tested, redirected, heart invested on my goals. Christ detected, resurrected, light injected on my soul.
Battle tested, redirected, heart invested on my goals. Christ detected, resurrected, light injected on my soul. So this even, like I didn't write this with thinking of this experience that I had, but 3 years ago I was reading this book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And and near the end of the book, there's a meditation in there, and it's about like drawing the light of Christ up and through your body. So one morning I was driving to work, I was freestyling in my car, and I'm like saying something along the lines of like, why did it take me so long to believe in you? And the next word I was going to rhyme appeared on the side of a truck that was turning at a four-way stop I was at, and I was like, what the heck, the synchronicity. So then I'm reading that book at lunch. I lay down, I'm doing the meditation, and I just feel this like burst of light. And it's so hard to explain the experience, but I like burst up out of like the meditation, ran outside, got on my Instagram, was telling this story about the truck and rapping, and the truck drove by again right when I was going to say the word. So that's like blew my mind, like the synchronicity of that.
I'm just living out my prophecy, vibing through my odyssey. People find me odd to see, but shit's not really odd to me. I'm constantly living through my novelty, finding peace and harmony. Wealth received, always got that cross on me.
I'm just living out my prophecy, and that's just another thing of a future self of like writing for me. I'm just here existing. I'm just the vessel that the Spirit's using to, guide my body to create whatever it needs to create in my lifetime. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Yeah.
I love your explanation on even the doors I close, because like in that one got me. I mean, obviously it's like the very beginning there, and it got me because I'm like, wow. And in my mind, it was like, what's for me can't close, like if it's meant for me, like that door can't be closed. So it helps you look at experiences and like relationships that end, friendships, whatever they may be. It helps you look at it and be like, I got this from that. I got this from that. And so that really like rang for me. I was like, yeah, if a door does close, like it can still be a gold knob, and I can still get something beautiful from it, and I am still rich from that experience.
Yeah. I remember the first time I performed the song, you were there, and when I got done, you repeated that line. I was like, oh, she was listening.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm glad that line stuck, because I think that might be like the best bar in that whole thing. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Rolls on a roll, roll on a roll. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's good. That's really good. But no, that song got me immediately because of that line, and I was like, oh, I'm listening. I'm here.
One of my intentions with the music I make is that it helps heal, helps bring something good and positive to people. And so it makes me happy to see this song doing that now. And before, I was always just more like a solo artist. This is like my first collaboration officially. So it's been a cool new experience for me, and grateful for it.
Do you guys have any future collaborations?
I sure hope so. Something also cool is as soon as we put the song out, her mom starts DMing me. I love this song because her mom's Christian. And so she messaged me all this stuff like multiple times a week, and so we became friends online. So I hope I get to meet her.
Yes, how could I forget about that? And for my day job, I work with my dad, and so I work at my parents' house. And ever so often she comes in and she's like, you know that I'm rich? Yeah, I know that I'm rich. And she's singing.
I love that so much. I love that. Any message you want to leave for your fans before I sign us off here?
Got a lot of music coming out. This is only the beginning of the journey. So, I hope that this is the first of many bangers, first of many songs that Alyssa and I create. I hope that we get back in the studio soon and make some more magic.
Great duo. So I'm looking forward to more collaborations between the two of you. And now that we have deconstructed this skeleton, here's Rich by Zalchamist the Creator in its entirety.
I don't need to roll in a rose or roll on my wrist to know that I'm rich, yeah. To know that I'm rich. To know that I know that I know that I know that I'm rich. I just need a hold on my soul, a cross on my fist to know that I'm rich, yeah. To know that I'm rich. To know that I know that I know that I know that I'm rich. Everything I touch is gold, even knobs on the doors I close. Them doors made of onyx stone. I'm protected everywhere I go. Battle tested, redirected, heart invested. All my goals, Christ detected, resurrected, light injected. inflicted on my soul. I'm just living out my prophecy, vibing through my odyssey. People find me odd to see, but shit's not really odd to me. I'm constantly living through my novelty, finding peace and harmony. Wealth received, always got that cross on me. I don't need a roll in a rose, a roll on my wrist, to know that I'm rich, yeah. To know that I'm rich, to know that I know that I know that I know that I'm rich, rich. I just need a hold on my soul, a cross on my fist, to know that I'm rich, yeah. To know that I'm rich, to know that I know that I know that I know that I'm rich. Wealth is a value that you offer to the world and others. Riches in your heart and how you treat your sisters and your brothers. To be rich is to live through the seed that God planted in you. That creative gift that can lift the mountain all by faith. While the world sees a myth, you already know deep down in your